This is an interesting one. Is it better to start with a business loan or bootstrap everything? And this is from OliviaBakerUK. That's an interesting question. That's a really depends question. Hey guys, I really need your opinion because honestly, I'm still torn with this question. When I started thinking seriously about my business, this was one of the biggest questions on my mind. So their question is: get a loan or start, bootstraps. How'd you start yours?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, I started with a credit card with a $400 limit.
So bootstraps.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I didn't get a business loan either.
But I had another business prior to this that I bought out, so it started with a loan.
So it started with a loan. Well, that was an existing business.
Kind of. So the business itself didn't exist. I bought the equipment and all that stuff from the business. And I didn't have the funds to flat out buy all that stuff. So I needed a startup loan.
So you had a business that required equipment.
Correct.
Right.
So it's really dependent. Is bootstrapping always the best choice? No.
No, a lot of people say go buy an existing business.
Or buy a franchise.
No, not a franchise. That's not an existing business.
But no, even if you're starting your own business, right? And people are like, oh, it takes time to build clients. It takes time to do all this. And it can, but you have to weigh the risk versus the rewards, right? If you go out and take $100,000 loan to start your business, and that allows you to not worry about money for 4 months and put in a marketing budget and start advertising and cover your basic expenses, you could potentially be fast tracking your business. It really depends on, do you want to bootstrap it? Do you want to do it that way? Because it's a great way to do it because you learn a lot of things along the way. But that doesn't mean that it's always the best way to do it for everybody.
Sure.
It really comes down to what's your risk-reward tolerance. Like, how confident are you that your business is going to start making you money? Because there's going to be investments you have to make along the way.
So to me, that's the right question, right? Sorry about that. That's the right question. How confident are you that the business is going to succeed? If you're not at all confident, maybe bootstrap's the right way to go because this way you won't be stuck with a bunch of loans.
Yep.
But at the same time, if you're not as confident in your business, why are you even starting it?
Yes.
Right? But number two, if you are confident in it, if you have good market research, you did good preparation, you have experience in the industry, get a loan. You know why? Because you're not going to be able to do marketing without it. You're not going to be able to get employees without it. If you bootstrap it, you're not seeing an employee for 3 years. You're just not. You're not going to have the money.
Not in most cases.
Yeah. And bootstrap it doesn't mean get my home equity. That's a loan, right? Bootstrap it is, I have nothing, maybe a couple $100 on a credit card, and that's what I'm using to, get my LLC formed and buy QuickBooks and do this, that, or the other, right? Yep. That's bootstrapping. And then when customers pay me, that's when I have money to either pay myself or reinvest in the business. That's bootstrapping. Dipping into your HELOC, dipping into your 401k, dipping into your personal savings, or going to an SBA, that's all loans, whether it's from you or somebody else. Yeah. That's not necessarily bootstrapping. So,
and you can very easily find out whether you should or shouldn't, right? Because I use this as an example frequently, that if you go to a small bank and say, I want to open a restaurant, I need a $300,000 loan for equipment and build out and all that stuff, you're probably going to get a much higher rate. You might even not get the loan because it's considered a high-risk industry.
Right.
If you call the same bank and say, hey, I need $300,000 to go buy a Subway franchise, that bank will probably underwrite it.
Right.
Because you're not starting from scratch. So banks have a risk reward. So you opening your restaurant is high risk. You opening a Subway is low risk. And that's kind of what I boil all of this down to, is bootstrapping versus borrowing.
Sure.
Is if you think that your business is going to make it in 2 to 5 years, that you're going to have a return and you're going to be able to pay off that loan in less than 5 years, I see no problem borrowing the money. If you don't think you're going to make that money in the first 5 years, don't borrow it.
Right. Right.
Don't.
And you better have at least a 3-year financial plan
Yeah.
in place.
It's
At least.
projection, but yes.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Projection plan. Yeah, financial plan. Where's the money coming from? How much can you reasonably expect? Reasonably being the key word here. Don't overshoot. Don't think you're going to make $1 million in your first 10 days. It's not happening.
Underestimate your revenue and overestimate
by a lot.
Overestimate your
costs.
expenses.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So Olivia Baker UK. So it depends on the business. If you gave us more information, we could probably give you more.
So let's take her name. Let's say she wanted to start a bakery.
Okay, I like it. Yes,
you're probably
Olivia Baker, the baker.
Okay, right. You're probably.
So wait, she's in the UK. She's making scones then, right?
Scones.
Obviously,
right? Of course, English muffins. But like realistically, if you wanted to open a bakery, if you're bootstrapping it, you still have to come up with the money to buy the equipment.
Yes.
Right. So I personally would say, and this is how I recommend to people like that they do it, is that set up your legal business first and then issue a loan from you to the business.
Yep. Draw up paperwork for that.
Correct.
Otherwise, it's a capital contribution.
Correct. 100%.
You're not getting it back anytime soon.
It's a loan from you to the business.
Right.
Put an interest rate on it, whole 9 yards, and then feed that money into the business. Or even better, if you have this, go borrow the money from a third party, knowing that you have the reserve funds to pay it. Because then you have backup capital. If you're taking all your capital and buying the equipment, it is not necessarily a great idea.
Right.
So I think that pretty much we've answered that question.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we beat it to death with a stick.
All right. So good luck to you. If you are a baker, we'll put the address in the comments and you can send us some of your scones. That'd be fantastic. If you like what you saw in the clips, don't forget to subscribe as well. Let us know what you think by leaving some information in the comments.